final test, just like the last 2 or 3 final tests I did before wiping the disc version of No Man's Sky tomorrow with the first day release version and live streaming my first experiences. The main purpose of this test is to try out my channel description, channel text, and also to see if this clip goes longer than 15 minutes. It's 10 p.m. exactly right now. If it doesn't, then I don't have my settings set up correctly, and it won't work for hours on end tomorrow. So, right now I'm headed back to the place where I died in test number 3. And I may go ahead and try to gather first equipment. But my main goal here is to let this run 15 minutes and 10 seconds and see if it somehow cuts out, and if it does, what that looks like. Oh yeah, I get to try out some of my old move techniques, like pushing the controllers away from each other and towards each other in order to pivot around a central viewpoint. I'm a dork, I'm a geek, but I'm not a gaming geek. I'm not a gamer. I'm an explorer, I'm a librarian, I'm a fiction writer, I'm a lover of science fiction, of imagination. I'm probably who this game was made for. This is like, this is also probably a dry run for talking this stuff out tomorrow. So, the moment I saw this game, I knew I wanted to play it and explore it. And everything else is gravy. I mean, you know, the things that people are pointing out as some of the traditional gameplay difficulties with this game are not problems for me, are not concerns. I just want to roam around and explore, see new things, and also, as I go, make up stories. Let's try that jump thing everyone's talking about. Well, it does work. Anyway, one thing I wanted to do through all the live streams I saw was go into caves. I would see caves and I would be like, there's a cave right over there, what are you doing? Go check out the cave. And a few people would, and one poor dude, the first cave he checked out, he was swamped by spiders and eaten alive by the rest of the life on the planet. I felt bad for him because in mythology and legend, caves are the seat of enlightenment. I mean, caves are the seat of exploration, of discovery, of the unconscious, of hidden meanings revealed slowly over time as you build up the bravery to explore them more deeply. So I think caves are cool, and I'm looking forward to... I'm a bit of a spelunker, I guess. I'm going to be... movement. Take some getting used to. I'm going to be a bit of a spelunker as I do this. Another thing I like to do, and I find almost unavoidable to do, is to imagine stories. And I guess by virtue of growing up a young person, could imagine stories from the barest bits of information and make up my own worlds and scenarios, and you know, it's obviously something everyone can do, but sometimes I do think that I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems as though there are fewer opportunities growing up today to just go outside and explore. Oh wait, how did I end up here? I swear to you, I thought, oh, I just turned around and went in a circle. That was a little surreal because I thought I was going in a kind of a counterclockwise arc. Anyway, one thing I think this game provides is a place for the free mind to roam and to really discover whatever it is it has to, reveal to itself. And you can do that with barest shreds of inspiration. I mean, there are people living in horrendous circumstances who, and I'm not talking any particular time or place or world, but just anyone can take the smallest idea, bit of information, and turn it into a place where their mind and their heart can be free. And that's important. And it's something that I think has been, if not lost, is harder to come by today than perhaps it once was. See now, how can there be a hole in that rock there when I just got here? I did not blow that hole in that rock. I've been watching videos with zero concern over spoilers for a couple of days now, just kind of itching to get started. There, by the way, is my wreck, which I'll never get to, which I'm sure I should be zooming in on or learning how to zoom in on, but I'm kind of saving a lot of that for tomorrow. Whatever. Right now I'm just wandering around, waiting to die and waiting for 15 minutes of video to complete jabbering on the live stream tests. So by giving yourself permission to take inspiration from whatever is around you, whatever is at hand, be it books, films, movies, television, games, stories you write, stories your friends make up with, what used to be called make-believe. You pick up a rock and the rock becomes a gemstone, or you pick up a stick and the stick becomes a sword. You know, what we have here is a rock, a stick. And we can take issue, and I mean an incredibly brilliant set of rocks and sticks made by people who clearly care about the wonder of the unknown, who are headed in that direction, who are heading towards that to the best of their capabilities, who are trying to create something, you know, in the world that I think is needed, a space to explore. And certainly in watching the gameplay, there are things so far that I feel, you know, that I wish were more diverse or more complex, like, you know, the same 3 races with the same trader outposts on all the planets and things. But you know what I'm going to do? What I think anyone playing with a limited set of tools would do and should do, and it could be fun to do, is in the play sessions I'm going to do starting tomorrow, I'm going to use everything presented in the game as a given, as lore, and move from there. In other words, in this world, for whatever reason, this is the reality. These are the races. Why does all the architecture seem so similar? Why are there only a few different types of species? Why are they so isolated and scattered? I believe the game itself, from the barest signs and symbols, will yield up. Oh, I love what happens when night falls and the way the light changes. I think that a lot of thought and care was put into the procedures and the algorithms that determined the palettes. And color and palette, much like musical palette, is a large part of experience. I'm going to check out, I'm just going to hang out with this drone. I also want to perfect my slow move technique by turning my mouse sensitivity down. What was I saying? Anyway, I was saying, hello dude. Oh, you're still there? These guys, they're anyway, so there are givens in the game, and we don't know why they are, and we look at them immediately as flaws, as failings of the team's time, but you know, they had to prioritize to create this evocative, emotive environment that would be ever unfolding, and that's what they, you know, that's what they focused on. We can use those as starting points for stories yet to be told, and if we do, they lead to other possibilities. It doesn't mean they're true, but as the, you know, as the team has pointed out, the story, I really want to test out the idea that the story of this of No Man's Sky is the story you bring to it. And I'm going to bring the story. I'm going to work with the givens, like these sentinels. They're so similar. They're wandering around almost, what would I call it? Almost obsessively guarding and scanning and pruning, like gardeners, these environments to keep them in a certain state. Why is that? What is that state? I feel like this universe is an old universe. I'm going to call it a galaxy. You know, it's a galaxy. I feel like this galaxy is an old galaxy. I feel like life has risen and fallen and risen and fallen and risen again and fallen again dozens of times by the time you arrive on the scene. I want to know why that is, and I think the game will provide hooks to make up and to imagine reasons why that might be. So anyway, I think the depth is there. I feel like I've gone for longer than 15 minutes in terms of my test, but I'm going to check once I get up to this cave up here. This again is the pre-release version, the version that ships on the disc. I have not installed the first patch, which will wipe everything up to this point. I'm not bothering to try to gather materials or learn any of the mechanics, even though I've watched videos of how that's done. I haven't tried to do it myself, and so there's going to be some clumsiness tomorrow. I'm just wanting to wander around, explore, get a handle on the movement so that I can perfect my kind of dolly camera moves or my, you know, my motion moves, my slow moves, and get ready for tomorrow, where I'm going to dive in and also test whether or not this live stream can you know, keep going after the 15-minute time frame that appeared to be the case on the PlayStation recorder. It seems like it can, which is good. See, I could just go from cave to cave and be happy. I could just go, oh, there's another cave. If I can see a cave from where I land, I'm headed in that direction. What else? Nothing else in particular here to say. I'm sure you're pleased about that. But, you know, and I may jammer like this tomorrow. I may try to make up stories on the fly. What is my character? And everything's on the table. Is this a, you know, in-game, in-story? Is this a simulated world that I live in? Am I a simulated creature? Is this a test of the simulation hypothesis set forth by Nick Bostrom, the Future of Humanity Institute, that we may in fact live in some kind of a simulation? What evidence is there, pro and con, in the game? I'm going to talk about those things and explore those things. Everything's on the table. I want to explore through this log what happens when you take a creative work at face value, you meet it on its level, and you imbue it with the magic that comes from imagination. See, look at those. Oh my God. Hey, Melissa. You gotta see these weird creatures. Ah! Okay, please don't... Yeah, I like that the animals aren't too aggressive. I'm about to end my test, but I couldn't help but show you these guys. It's like a giant bouncing tick. I think this is a baby. I don't yet know how to scan. But anyway... Look at him go! Oh, are they? That one there is kind of like a saguaro? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's got the sort of the branching offshoots and everything. I'm practicing my moves and stuff. Very cool. Absolutely. Tomorrow I would name this, and I would not, and I will not be naming it things like Ticky McTickface. I just have to say that outright from the start. This is going to get, even if what I end up doing is making official the generative name it was given. I'm also going to look at, what if my character is a kind of an artificial archaeologist who is in some ways akin to these sentinels, at least in design and initial function, but finds itself trying to rediscern its reason for living. And what if in the process of going around it runs across suddenly these places that are named things that are bizarre compared to the many other names that it has on record. Might it, well, it can't rename them, you know. It runs across an animal called Ticky McTickface. That doesn't mean anything to it, but, you know, might it contain that creature through some kind of biomarker by naming things around it in such a way that it's clear that, you know, that the namers of this thing were perhaps suffering some kind of a linguistic biovirus that caused it to, you know, spasmodically name things, you know, OMG Red World, you know, and it's okay to do those things. I think people name those, you know, people are practicing their imagination. And as I've watched videos, you know, super excited explorers who were giving the game huge amounts of benefit of the doubt were absolutely going, all right, channel, what are we going to call this? We're going to call it, you know, oh, this is like, oh, this is the poop spire. We're going to call it that. And, you know, no harm, no foul, because it is a way of confronting the unknown in a way that gives you something to grab onto, gives you some kind of position in relation to it that you can work with, that you can control, that you can manage. But we're going to dive into the generative story here, and we're going to dive into the question of what happens when you take a world at face value, and I'll probably be experimenting with naming things in world, like, you know, if I find a system that's named Poopy McPoop World System, I might tag the systems around it and spend a significant chunk of time doing it. Things that will, in the future, alert others that they're about to enter into a zone that's been affected by the sort of linguistic virus that has to do with maybe, you know, an imperfect attempt to come to terms with the unknown. Anyway, I'm going to die. I'm looking at my timer, and it's been 16 minutes, so if this stream hasn't died, then it looks like it will work. And if so, I'm ready for tomorrow. And I will spend my last moments gazing up at the sky, thankful for the chance to do just that, just this once, in this place that only I have ever seen, and perhaps only I ever will. Certainly, since this is the disc version, almost absolutely certainly no one else will ever see again. Except for the wheeling birds, or bird-like creatures, birdie McBird faces, ha ha ha, far above me. So, I look forward to it. And there's really no more to say.
Life support critical.